Hello everyone. My name is Erica Miles, and for my presentation, I will be talking about nutrition support for law enforcement officers working graveyard shift. So my why of why I wanted to choose this specific population is because my husband is in law enforcement, and I see the toll that graveyard shift takes on his body, his health, and the way that he eats, especially when he's on duty. I knew his department didn't have any nutrition support for their officers, and specifically for graveyard shift. So I wanted to dive deeper in this and find the root cause of why officers consume unhealthy meals on duty, and try to find ways to give them the proper nutrition support to meet their needs. There have been many times my husband will come home from work and say, "I'm starving. I didn't eat anything all shift." It's either because he didn't have time to pick up anything, to stop and eat. He didn't have time to eat, or he didn't want to eat that type of food that night. And he also didn't bring any food from home because he didn't have time to meal prep it. So, introduction, my target population is law enforcement officers aged 21 to 55 years old working graveyard shift. And this shift is from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. in the city of San Bernardino, California. And there's a large impact on the lack of nutrition support for this community. The purpose of the community needs assessment is to determine the health needs of graveyard shift officers. And a focus group was conducted to discuss the problems and needs with this group. Population of interest is law enforcement officers. They have a greater risk for health-related injuries, illnesses, obesity, cardiovascular disease, and certain cancers compared to the general public, and this is due to their working conditions and exposure to stress and trauma. Law enforcement is a health-threatening and dangerous job, so they are needed to respond. They're needed to respond to many physically and mentally challenging calls, and they usually go from sedentary sitting in their cars, and then all of a sudden they'll go to high exertion. Officers are risking their life every day to enforce law and protect the community, and there are only a few measures that protect their health. There was a report from President Obama's task force on 21st century policing that stated a majority of officers' deaths are from poor nutrition, inadequate sleep, and from poor physical fitness. These officers face challenges every day, working graveyard shift, which include working irregular long hours, inadequate sleep. They get like 6 hours in a 24-hour period, and a lack of access to high quality foods. Health data on officers are 40.5% of officers are obese, 26.7% have metabolic syndrome. The average total cholesterol is 200.8, and there's an increased risk of depression and anxiety at 26%. And they're actually at a more risk for cardiovascular disease. They have probably the poorest cardiovascular disease profile of any occupation. The problem of concern here is that access to nutritious and healthy meals, snacks, and drinks are limited for San Bernardino officers, specifically those who work graveyard shift. They had limited time to eat because they work in a high crime city and they go to call, so there's not time. And because of limited healthy options and time to eat, many officers turn to fast food and convenience stores to get through their 12-hour shift, which leads to a higher risk of obesity and cardiovascular disease. In general, law enforcement officers do not meet energy and carbohydrate recommendations. They have a high-fat, energy-dense diets due to the processed foods and sugary drinks they have on duty. If they do not bring their own meals from home, they have to rely on their department to carry healthy meals or snacks and drinks, or they'll have to consume what's open, which is fast food. San Bernardino Police Department does not offer healthy snacks to their officers. So they have to choose unhealthy food items that are processed and caffeinated drinks like Monsters and Rockstars. There's also a link between mental health and diet with the high consumption of processed foods and sugary drinks. Again, there's a 26% increased risk of depression or anxiety. This could be from low blood sugar levels, dehydration, stress-related duties, and sudden physical exertion. So the main concern is With officers' inadequate nutrition, it can lead to more serious health problems, putting their lives and the community's lives at risk. So the focus group themes included lack of resources. There were not a lot that were aware of any wellness programs. They used to have partnered with a health and wellness group, but they took that away within 6 months, and there was no nutrition support. They all have challenges to eat on duty. Healthy restaurants are closed. They don't have time to eat or stop to pick up a snack, and they don't have time to meal prep, and they don't know what or how to cook. Other programs that they wanted to see at their department would be partnering with a meal prep company, change out unhealthy vending machine options, take nutrition classes, cooking classes, and have personal trainers and dietitians available. So to interpret the data, factors that influenced Factors that impact officers include busy schedules, on and off duty, they're working long hours, inconsistent meal breaks, and exhaustion. They also had barriers to consume healthy food on duty, and that included individual preferences, social influences, capacity to change, time to eat, and healthy food options were closed. They also responded that if they didn't bring in food from home and they didn't buy food before 10 p.m., that all healthy options were closed, leaving fast food the only thing to eat. And a lot of them said that they didn't have time to eat anything. Programs that used to be at the department were the Employee Wellness Program. It partnered with the health group to provide screening and dietary recommendations to officers, but that was taken away. It didn't have enough resources, and it wasn't used enough. It didn't provide any incentives, so it wasn't very well thought out. It now only entails mental health resources and fitness challenges. The department does offer vending machine snacks, and you can see here on the side, that's what they offer. So it's a lot of chips, candy, Gatorades, chocolate, and they occasionally have a meal prep company stock their refrigerator with healthy meals for a reasonable price, but it's not consistent. Options expire and they're low in stock. They need someone, for this to be successful, they need someone monitoring it. Police officers also go to academy before they go out into the street. And here they have a 1-hour nutrition education course. It includes healthy eating concepts, how nutrition relates to safety and performance, and it talks about nutrition and health and what to eat on and off duty. But it's only a one-time class through the whole academy. Many officers probably will forget about it and not apply it. And the course is also conducted by an officer, not an actual nutrition professional. So the proposed program to meet the needs of these officers and to lower cholesterol levels and promote weight loss, lower risk of metabolic syndrome and cardiovascular disease, a nutrition education component needs to be considered to an existing police officer wellness program or developed. This will include nutrition counseling, cooking classes, educational material, and monthly nutrition education courses. The goal, nutrition classes will be given once a month that include weight management, meal planning, nutrition labels, and all about nutrition and blood pressure and heart health and diabetes. Cooking classes will be offered throughout the year, and a recipe book will be given out that have the recipes in them so they have access to them. They'll be tailored to police officers, so they'll be don't need to be refrigerated and don't need to be reheated up if they can't get to a microwave or refrigerator. They'll be simple, enjoyable meals. The goal of the program is to have officers continue to eat meals from home and eat out less. So I also want to swap out the vending machine foods and mark down the healthy options. Currently, again, they have the candy, cookies, energy drinks, and chips, and I want to add protein bars, mixed nuts, peanut butter and crackers, smoothies, beef jerky, popcorn, protein drinks, and electrolytes. So to conclude, nutrition education in a positive food environment plays a major role in empowering individuals and the knowledge to make healthy choices and adopt healthy behaviors. By providing officers with the proper tools, they can choose to make positive changes toward their health. They have physically demanding job and they work long hours. And they have stressful work conditions and they get inadequate sleep. So giving them the nutritional support they deserve results in healthy officers and safer communities. And here are my references. And thank you.